Welcome to the lecture of TTEM, minute number 2, Z transform. So today we will start with topic called as properties of Z transform. You know that properties of transforms like Laplace, Fourier, time shifting, time scaling, folding, or time shifting, time scaling, amplitude, frequency shifting, differentiation. So like that, we have properties for Z transform also. So first property is nothing but time shifting property. First property is time shifting property. So there will be shift in the time domain. So shift in time domain results into shift in time domain results into multiplication by z raised to power multiplication by z power alpha or z power minus alpha in z domain. So there in Laplace transform we have shift in the time domain results into exponential multiplication, but here we have multiplication by z raised to power plus alpha or minus alpha depending on that alpha value in z domain. So this is the time shifting property. So according to this, that is x of n minus alpha as z transform, x of n minus alpha as z transform, z raised to power minus alpha into x of z. This is the time shifting property of z transform. Okay. Now proof for this property. So we know that definition of Z transform by definition. So to prove any property, you have to always start from the definition of Laplace or Laplace definition of Z. So always start with the definition and then go for the proof. Okay, so what is the definition of Z transform? That x of z equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z raised to minus n. X of n dot z raised to minus. So this is the definition of Z transform. Then we have to determine the Z transform of x of n minus alpha. So instead of x of n, I will substitute x of n minus alpha. So this becomes, therefore, Z transform of x of n minus alpha is equals to summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n minus alpha z raised to minus n, x of n minus alpha dot z raised to minus n. Okay, so just use some substitution. Put n minus alpha as k, n minus alpha as k. So this becomes n equal to alpha plus k. Okay, then when n equal to infinity, k will also be infinity minus alpha, where alpha is some constant, so k will also be infinity. When n is minus infinity, so minus infinity minus alpha is some constant, minus infinity, if you subtract anything from minus infinity, that becomes minus infinity. K will also becomes minus. So this becomes, so use this substitution in this equation. So our equation becomes summation k equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of k z raised to power minus n is nothing but alpha plus k. What is n? Alpha plus k. Okay. So this becomes summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k dot z raised to minus alpha minus k. Okay, so according to law of indices, according to law of indices, a raised to power minus a minus b is a raised to power minus a minus, sorry, any number x raised to power minus a minus b is x raised to minus a x raised to minus. This is law of indices. So this becomes summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k dot z raised to minus alpha dot z raised to minus k. So here summation is with respect to k. So z raised to minus alpha is a constant, so I can take outside. So this becomes z raised to minus alpha, z raised to minus alpha into summation x of k z raised to minus k. If you compare with the definition of z transform, this is also the definition of z transform x of z. This thing is also your x of z. Instead of n, we have variable k. Here k, and here k. In place of n, all three places we have k. So this is also x of z. So this becomes z raised to minus alpha x of z. So this is the z transform of x of n minus alpha. So this is nothing but the time shifting property. Hence proved. This is the proof of this property. Now, based on this property, let's look at some questions. So question number one. Question one. So x of find z transform of number one delta n minus 3. Number two. Okay, first we will solve delta n minus 3. Okay, delta n is z transform. Delta n is z transform 1, and this minus 3, because of minus 3, z raised to minus 3 into 1. So this is the answer. Okay, because delta n has z transform 1, and this because of this shift. So if I just write the property, just once again I will write the property x of n minus k has z transform, z raised to minus x of n minus alpha has z transform, z raised to minus alpha x of z. So here alpha is nothing but 3, so z raised to minus 3 into x of z. X of n is delta n, x of z will be 1, because delta n is z transform 1. One thing I forgot to tell you is that in time shifting property, the ROC does not change. The ROC does not change. Means this delta n has that ROC entire S-plane. Similarly, this delta n minus 3 is also ROC entire S-plane. The ROC does not change. Whenever we are using the time shifting property, the ROC does not change. Okay. Now next, find out Z transform of. Next question, find out Z transform of U of n minus 4. Okay, so we know that U of n is Z transform. U of n is Z transform. Z upon Z minus 1. ROC is magnitude Z greater than 1. Therefore, U of n minus 4 as Z transform. U of n minus 4 as Z transform by time shifting property. Shift is of 4 unit minus 4. So Z raised to minus 4 into the Z transform of U of n. U of n Z transform is Z upon Z minus 1, and ROC remains same, magnitude Z greater than 1. Okay, now let's look at one more example. A raised to 3 raised to n minus 2 U of n minus 2 has Z transform. Z transform of this 3 raised to n minus 2 equal to question mark. This Z transform we have to determine. Okay, we know that 3 raised to n U of n has Z transform Z upon Z minus 3, ROC is magnitude Z greater than 3. Okay, so by time shifting property, the shift is of 2 units. So the shift must be in at both the places. At U of n minus 2, wherever n is there, we should have subtraction or we should have addition. Then it is called as the time shift. If you just have like 3 raised to n U of n, then directly I cannot go for the time shift property. Here there is shift, n minus 2 has the shift, but this 3 raised to n does not have any shift. So shift must be present at both the places. Okay, so wherever n is there, there should be the shift. Then I can use the time shift property. Okay, So 3 raised to power n minus 2 z u of n minus 2 z transform we were finding out. So 3 raised to n minus 2 u of n minus 2 has z transform. So the shift is of minus 2, so it becomes z raised to minus 2 into z divided by z minus 3. ROC does not change. ROC will be magnitude z greater than 3. So that is nothing but z raised to minus 2 into z. So that final answer is z raised to minus 1 upon z minus 3. Minus 2 into here the power is 1, minus 2 plus 1 minus 1. So the overall answer is z raised to minus 1 divided by z minus 3, and ROC is magnitude z greater than 3. Now one more example. So suppose z transform of 3 raised to n u of n minus 2. Okay, so here the shift is at u of n minus 2, but here the shift is not present. So in this case, first what you should do, you should adjust the shift here. You should adjust the shift here, then use the time shift property. Okay. So how you will adjust that shift? So 3 raised to n u of n minus 2 can be written as, this thing can be written as 3 raised to n minus 2 plus 2 dot u of n minus 2. Okay, so plus 2 minus 2, I have done the adjustment. The amount by which we have the shift, that much amount you should adjust. Okay, so this becomes 3 raised to power n minus 2 dot 3 raised to power 2 into u of n minus 3. U of n minus 3. So that is nothing but 3 raised to power 2 is a constant, 6, 3 square 9 into 3 raised to power n minus 2 u of n minus 2. Here n minus 2 is there, n minus 2. Okay, so what is z transform 3 raised to n? 3 raised to n z transform is 3 raised to n u of n z transform is z upon z minus 3. ROC is magnitude z greater than 3. This is the ROC. Okay. Therefore 9 into 3 raised to power n minus 2 into u of n minus 2 has z transform. 9 is a constant. Then because of minus 2, the multiplication factor will be z raised to minus 2, and z transform 3 raised to n u of n. That is nothing but z upon z minus 3. ROC magnitude z greater than 3. ROC will not change. So that becomes 9 z raised to minus 2. Here the power is z raised to 1. So overall z raised to minus 1 divided by z minus 3. So this is the final answer, and ROC is magnitude z greater than 3. Now one more example. 3 raised to power n minus 2 u of n. Okay. So here I don't feel that you should apply the time shift property. Instead what you can do, this can be written as 3 raised to n dot 3 raised to minus 2 u of n. So that is nothing but 3 raised to minus 2 means 1 by 9. That means 1 upon 3 raised to 2. That means 1 upon 3 square 1 by 9 dot 3 raised to n u of n. So it is the standard thing. The formula is directly available. So without using time shift property, the answer will be 1 by 9 into z upon z minus 3. Because 3 raised to n u of n is a transform z upon z minus 3. And ROC will be magnitude z greater than 3. So when you should apply the time shift property? When you should use the time shift property? Whenever there is shift in some standard functions like delta n minus or delta n plus or u of n minus some constant or u of n plus some constant. In that case only you should use the time shift property. Otherwise no need to use the time shift property. So for such question, don't apply time shift property. Don't get confused. See the question properly. When to use time shift property? Whenever u of n minus alpha or u of n plus alpha or delta n minus some alpha, delta n plus some alpha, such type of signals are there, then you should use the time shift property. Don't use it unnecessarily. Okay. Now next property is the time reversal property. Time reversal. So according to this property, if x of n has z transform x of z, if x of n has z transform x of z, then x of minus n has z transform x of 1 by z. Then x of minus z has x of minus n has z transform x of 1 by z. Then x of minus n, then x of minus n has z transform x of 1 by z. So here we have to take the reciprocal. So when we are changing n with minus n, so there we have to take the reciprocal of z. In the z domain, we have to take the reciprocal. Now here ROC will change. Suppose here ROC is R, ROC is R, then here ROC will be 1 by R. ROC is 1 by R. You have replaced z with 1 by z, na? So ROC will also be changed. ROC is R, then here ROC will be 1 by R. So this is the time reversal property. So for proof, you can go for the definition of Z transform. Just write the definition of Z transform. There you put n equal to minus k and you can verify that property. Okay, proof. So x of n has, we know the by definition of Z transform, x of n has Z transform summation minus infinity to infinity n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z raised to minus n. This is the definition of Z transform. Okay, then put n equal to, okay, we are finding out the Z transform of, therefore Z transform x of minus n will be, so instead of x of n, just put here x of minus n, summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of minus n dot z raised to minus n. Okay, so now x of minus n, sorry, here x of minus n. Now put n equal to minus k, n equal to minus k. Therefore, when n is minus infinity, k will be plus infinity. When n equal to minus infinity, k equal to plus infinity. And when n is infinity, k equal to minus infinity. Okay, so just use the substitution. Therefore, z transform of x of minus n equal to z transform of x of minus n equal to summation k equal to minus infinity becomes plus infinity and plus infinity becomes minus infinity. X of minus n is what? N is minus k, so minus n is k. So x of k dot z raised to power minus n is nothing but k. So this can be written as summation k. I can change the summation limits, k equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, no problem, because it is just the addition. So I can always change these limits. So x of k and this z I will write as z raised to minus 1 and here minus k. Okay, and z raised to minus 1 is nothing but 1 by z. So this becomes summation k equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of k dot 1 by z raised to power k. If we compare the definition, if we compare with the definition, instead of n we have variable k at 3 places, here. Okay, but instead of z we have 1 by z. So this is nothing but x of 1 by z. This is x of 1 by z. So hence this property is proved. Let's look at some examples. So find z transform of u of minus n. Question is find z transform of u of minus n. Okay, so we know that u of n is z transform z upon z minus 1 and ROC is magnitude z greater than 1. Then u of minus n is z transform. So whenever we are doing the folding, we have to replace z with 1 by z. So 1 by z, z is replaced by 1 by z, z is replaced by 1 by z minus 1. Okay, so z I have replaced with 1 by z. When I am replacing n with minus n, I have to replace z with 1 by z. And ROC in this case will be 1 by z is greater than 1. Okay, so just simplify it. So 1 by z divided by cross multiply 1 minus z divided by z. This z get cancel out, and this z will go left side. So 1 is greater than magnitude z. So overall answer is 1 upon 1 minus z. Overall answer is 1 upon 1 minus z. And ROC is 1 greater than magnitude z. That means magnitude z less than 1. So draw one circle having radius 1, and show the ROC as the inside portion of that circle. Because magnitude z less than 1. Less than means interior part of the circle. Okay. One more question. Find z transform of a raised to minus n u of minus n. Okay, we know that a raised to n u of n is z transform z upon z minus a, and ROC is this is the question. Find z transform of a raised to minus n u of minus n. So solution, we know the z transform of a raised to n u of n z upon z minus a. ROC is magnitude z greater than a. This is the ROC. Okay, so here n is replaced with minus n. Here n is replaced with minus n. N is replaced with minus n. So what will be changed here? Z will be replaced by 1 by z. Therefore, a raised to minus n u of minus n as z transform. Z is replaced by 1 by z. So 1 by z divided by 1 by z minus a. And what will be ROC change? Here also z will be replaced by 1 by z less than a. Okay, so that becomes, just simplify it, 1 by z divided by denominator cross multiply, so 1 minus az divided by z. This z get cancel out, and this side 1 is greater than magnitude z. 1 is greater than magnitude z into a. So our answer is 1 upon 1 minus az, 1 upon 1 minus az, and here it will be 1 by a is greater than magnitude z, that is magnitude z. I will bring this a to this side because ROC we express like magnitude z greater, magnitude z less with some constant. Like this we express the ROC. Okay, on this side we should have mod z. Mod z greater than, mod z less than. This is how we represent the ROC. Okay, so this can be written as 1 by greater than magnitude z. That means magnitude z less than 1 by a. The answer is a raised to n minus z transform of a raised to minus n u of minus n is 1 upon 1 minus az, and ROC is z less than 1 by a. So you should draw one circle having radius 1 by a, and ROC is less means it is the inside portion of the circle. So remember that ROC we express like magnitude z greater or magnitude z less. This is the way we represent the ROC. Okay. Now what will be z transform of minus 2 raised to n u of n? Okay. So here no need to apply the reversal property, time reversal property, because with n there is no negative sign. This is the amplitude negative sign. So its answer is simply minus z upon z minus 2. No need to unnecessarily don't apply the time reversal property. That is what I want to tell. So for any numerical, if you go and apply the time reversal property, that will not work. You should see the question carefully. यहाँ पे n के साथ माइनस n क्या नहीं, तो यहाँ पे टाइम रिवर्सल प्रॉपर्टी अप्लाई करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, so this is the answer for this question. Now for example one more, 3 raised to n u of minus n. Okay, so when to use the time reversal property, that also I will tell you. Whenever you see shift in delta minus n or delta minus n plus some constant or u of minus n, right? Whenever u of minus n is there, then only you have to use the time reversal property. Other than that, don't use time reversal property. Whenever u of minus n is there or delta minus n is there, then only you should use the time reversal property. Okay, so here u of minus n is there, so I must have to use the time reversal property. But here minus n is not there, so I need to do some adjustment. So what type of adjustment I can do? So here we are not adding some constant, n के साथ कोई constant add या subtract नहीं हो रहा, but n is there, so this can be written as 3 raised to minus n raised to power minus 1. Okay, so that becomes u of minus n, or you can simply write this as 3 raised to n as 1 by 3 raised to power minus n. Okay, so this becomes 1 by 3 raised to power minus n u of minus n. Okay, at both the places n is replaced with minus n, then I can use the time reversal property. So I know the z transform of 1 by 3 raised to n u of n. What is the z transform 1 by 3 raised to n u of n? Z upon z minus 1 by 3. ROC is magnitude z greater than 1 by 3. Okay. So z transform of 1 by 3 raised to minus n, 1 by 3 raised to minus n, u of minus n will be, at both the places minus n is there, na? So I should use the time reversal property. 1 by 3 raised to minus n u of minus n becomes, how to apply the time reversal property? What is the difference between these two equations? This is the standard formula. You should always compare with the standard formula. You should arrange your equation in terms of the standard formula. Okay. So here what will be changed? Here z will be replaced by 1 by z. That becomes 1 by z divided by 1 by z minus 1 by 3. Okay, and ROC will be magnitude 1 by z greater than 1 by 3. Okay, so what will be simplification? So 1 by z divided by, cross multiply with this z, 3 minus z divided by 3z. So this z get cancel out. This 3 will come in the numerator. So this becomes 3 upon 3 minus z. This is the answer. Okay, after cross multiplication in the denominator, z cancel and that 3 will come in the numerator. And on this side, ROC side, magnitude z will go to that side. So magnitude z, okay, 1 will be this side, magnitude z will go to that side, and this 1 by 3 will come to this side. So 1 by 3 will cross multiply here, so 3 less than magnitude z. So ROC magnitude z less than. Okay. So this is the answer. You should draw one circle having radius 3, and ROC is the inside portion of the circle. Radius of the circle is 3. This is the ROC. X-axis real z, y-axis imaginary z. Y-axis imaginary z. Okay, I think I should take one more example based on this. Same type of question. Find out z transform of 4 raised to n u of minus n. Okay, so whenever I see u of minus n, I have to use the time reversal property. But here n is not present at both the places. Minus n is not present at both the places. So I need to do the adjustment. This can be written as 1 by 4 raised to n minus n u of minus n. Now at both the places, minus n is there. Now I know that 1 by 4 raised to n u of n as z transform z upon z minus 1 by 4. ROC is magnitude z greater than 1 by 4. Here at both the places minus n is there, so I should use the time reversal property. Here minus n, here minus n. So what will be z transform of 1 by 4 raised to minus n u of minus n? 1 by 4 raised to minus n u of minus n. So here z will be replaced by 1 by z. 1 by z minus 1 by 4. And ROC will be magnitude z greater than, now, sorry, here also ROC 1 by z greater than 1 by 4. Okay. So just cross multiply. So this becomes 1 by z. Now denominator cross multiplication, so 4 minus z divided by 4z. This z cancel. On this side 1 greater than 1 by 4 magnitude z. So this 1 by 4 will come to this side. So 4 is greater than magnitude z. This is the ROC. 4 is greater than magnitude z. This is the ROC. Okay. And on this side, this 4 will come in the numerator. Overall answer is 4 upon 4 minus z. So this is the final answer. Okay. Thank you.